Did Aaron start the car? Is he able to rev the car? Is he able to drive the car? Or did he just sell the car and abandon us all? Tune in next time to find out. So while you guys are over here starving for some G35 content, I'm over here like... But let's just pause for a moment. Let's take a step back. Actually, a couple weeks back. Because in order to hear that beautiful noise, I had to go through some shit. What is going on, guys? It's your buddy Aaron and welcome back to another G35 video. Got a little bit of explaining to do because a lot of you guys are following me on Instagram. You guys saw that last week I was actually trying to start the car for the very first time after putting the engine and transmission together, and I was super stoked to get it ready. I felt like all I had to do was go ahead and put the drive shaft in, but I ended up doing a little mistake, just a tiny mistake, and it kind of put me back a little bit. So when I went to go ahead and try and start the car, it seemed like we weren't getting any fuel and we weren't getting any spark, which is super odd because I got a brand new fuel pump and I heard the fuel pump going and everything like that, but there were 3 issues wrong with the car. The first 2 problems we did find by checking all the little things such as relays and fuses and stuff like that. So this is our ignition fuse that used to be in there. Luckily I went ahead and saved all of the fuses out of the old G35, went ahead and replaced this with the other one. But yeah, looks like they soldered it and it melted a little bit and doesn't look like it's doing too good. So I replaced that. I also ended up replacing the ignition relay that's in the fuse box. And then I ended up smelling the fuel, the E85 that we ended up putting in the tank. I was super stoked to get this G35 running, guys. It was like midnight. I went all the way out to the closest E85 gas station that I have, which is like 15 minutes away. I filled up a little 5-gallon tank and I came back. I was able to siphon out all of the old gas that was in this car, and then I put in the new E85. This is when I attempted to start the car and when we ran into all those issues. So ever since we fixed our ignition relay and our fuse, and now we're getting some fuel, we can smell it, but we're still not getting any spark. The only other thing that was left over was the fact that I did not align the flywheel correctly. There's a little dowel on the engine as well as on the flywheel. You're supposed to line them up when you're putting the flywheel together. It's elementary shit, I know. I had no idea. Just went ahead and slapped everything together and figured I was gonna be good. Because I did do a clutch in the G35 about 2 years ago. I don't ever remember having to line that up, and I think I just got lucky when I put the flywheel back up. So I made that oopsie and I went ahead and had to drop the transmission so that I can go ahead and realign the flywheel. As you can see, I got my clutch and pressure plate on the floor right there, but my old flywheel is still connected to the car. And I say old flywheel because when I was putting the pressure plate back on to the flywheel, I made a little mistake because I was way too excited. I just wanted to use the gun to get everything nice and tight so I can slap it all together and hear it roar. But your boy went ahead and tightened it way too much, and I snapped not 1 but 2 bolts into the flywheel. Honestly, the best idea was for me to go ahead and order a new flywheel, so it set me back a couple more days. But I went ahead and did everything right. I ordered some new flywheel bolts as well as pressure plate bolts from Nissan. I was able to get them at employee cost because I work at an auto mall, so I got hooked up with those OEM parts, OEM bolts. Yeah, we bought a JWT lightweight flywheel, which is actually 4 pounds lighter than our old Exity race flywheel. So we got our JWT flywheel right over here. This thing looks sick. I'm gonna be doing that later on in this video because I want somebody to be here while I'm underneath the car taking care of removing the old flywheel and torquing down the new flywheel down to factory spec, just because I got the whole car on jack stands, and to be super safe it's always good to have somebody with you when you're working on the car, or at least under the car, where shit can go down. So while this camera is charging and connected to the computer, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of putting the front end back onto the G35. So we're gonna go ahead and put the radiator support back on. We're gonna be getting the condenser and radiator back in, all the hoses connected up, and maybe even the bash bar up front. I'm not sure. I kind of wanted to paint that, but I can always remove it real quick and paint that if I want to. Maybe we'll be able to get a little bit of coolant into the system, get some power steering fluid into the system, and then maybe we can even mount our oil cooler to the bash bar. So we'll see what we can accomplish. Luckily for you guys, it's all gonna happen in about a second. Yo, I don't think you guys are ready to see this G back together yet. You guys ready? Yo, check this out, man. We got the whole front end back together. We got the whole bash bar and everything, the whole radiator support. We got both headlights in. And this thing is finally looking like a G35 again. We just went ahead and tested the headlights. Looks like we only got 1 headlight that's working. The other headlight is just the bulb is out, so I'm gonna have to fix that eventually. This is so sick. Check out what I did with the oil cooler. So I went ahead and just kind of drilled 3 holes in it and then kind of rammed these bolts right through. We got 3 10mm bolts holding in this oil cooler, which looks pretty badass up here on the... Since I'm gonna be running no bumper for a little bit, it's gonna be pretty dope having that purple oil cooler sticking out. This thing's looking like a full freaking car, guys. I'm super stoked to get this thing on the road. But we still have one more thing that we have to do. Obviously, we got to put the whole transmission back together. We got to get our new flywheel on, which is right behind me. Nice little JWT flywheel. We're gonna get the transmission in, fill it up with fluid, and then we're pretty much ready for our very first start. And I'm hoping that there's no other issues that's gonna stop us from starting this time.
Wait till you see the.
Because we pretty much figured everything out, hopefully. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night for tonight. We're gonna go ahead and jump back into this tomorrow, so I'll see you guys in a second. What up, dudes? Alright, so it is the very next day. I just got home from work and I got like no sleep last night, but I'm ready to dive into this because I can't wait to hear this thing roar, guys. I can't wait. Also, it is Valentine's Day, so I'm over here, you know, with my Valentine, just chilling, you know, spending the night with her, you know, spending all my money on her, making sure she's good, you know? She's my queen. It is looking like a freaking car again. I came home today and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, damn, man, we got the front end back together. Now all we gotta do is put a whole transmission in it. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We gotta take care of the new flywheel. Gotta install that, gotta install the pressure plate on top of that, and then we're gonna go ahead and slide the transmission on, fill up the transmission with some transmission fluid, bolt everything down together, and maybe the car will start. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into unboxing the new JWT flywheel. So we got a couple things in the package. We got these washers that are gonna go in the middle where all the flywheel bolts go into the engine. And then we have these little dowels here that's gonna help guide the pressure plate onto the flywheel. Check it out, guys. That's our JWT flywheel right here. It's got like a little bit of factory grease on here that we're definitely gonna have to spray off with some brake cleaner or something like that, just to get a nice clean surface on there. This is actually lighter than my current lightweight flywheel. I do have a flywheel from the Exity Pro Race clutch kit, and it weighs 18 pounds as compared to the stock one, which weighs 28 pounds. This one weighs in at half of the stock one at 14 pounds. So I'm also saving a couple of pounds by switching to this lightweight flywheel as opposed to just fixing my other one. Alright guys, check it out. So we got our old flywheel in there right now. Just got all the bolts that are unfortunately all torqued down right now, and you can't really break or bar them loose unless you ratchet strap the whole entire flywheel to like the chassis so it doesn't move. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up that ratchet strap, try to get that flywheel solid so that we can go ahead and break all those bolts loose. I was able to pick up some OEM flywheel bolts as well as some OEM pressure plate bolts, and then I'm just going to reuse all the washers. We also got a little bit of Loctite here that we're going to have to apply to the flywheel bolts as well as the pressure plate bolts before we put them in. Alright guys, so they give you 3 of these little dowels that you're supposed to install in the correct mark. Depending on which model car that you have to pretty much insert them into the correct dowel spots. So these are just little guides for the pressure plate to attach. They come like this in a little bag, and then you have to place them exactly where they need to go. And then you gotta go ahead and press them into the flywheel. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. We're just gonna go ahead and tap them in. Alright guys, we got the dowels in the correct spots that they needed to go, and I think we're pretty much ready to go ahead and line up this flywheel, get our bolts Loctited, put our washers inside, and get it bolted up. Alright guys, so I just marked this tiny little X into the flywheel here so that it marks exactly where our dowel is sitting so that we know where to line it up. You fuck off. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the camera was getting a little annoying in there, it was getting in the way, and I just kept dropping my phone, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock everything out. But what I did want you guys to know is that when you are torquing the bolts, you're gonna want to torque the flywheel bolts down to 70 foot-pounds, and then loosen them, put red Loctite on them, and then put them in at 75 foot-pounds. Definitely gonna want to tighten them in like a star pattern, just like you would put the lug nuts on your wheel. And then as for the clutch pressure plate, the bolts for that are gonna be at 33 foot-pounds with red Loctite as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out right now, and I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Check it out guys, so it's a little hard to see, but we got our flywheel, we got our pressure plate, we got everything torqued down to factory spec, and we are ready to go ahead and pull the alignment key out. So let's go ahead and do that. What this alignment key is for is pretty much holding the clutch disc in the middle so that you can go ahead and torque down the pressure plate. So then now it's centered, we can just go ahead and remove this.
And that's it.
Man, that was a huge pain in the ass dealing with those back-to-back problems for the last week or so, but we finally got everything all together, except for the transmission. I'm gonna need some help with that. Maybe I can try and do it myself, but I'm gonna call over the neighbors, see if they can slide through, help us put that transmission up, so see what I can do. Yo. Yo, this man always fucking comes through. This is like, dude, anytime I need it, bro. You're the man. Alright, so he just slid through. We're gonna see if we can go ahead and put this transmission in. See if we can hear this thing roar tonight. Let's do it. Oh my god! Yo! My dog! Yo, the bolts will do the rest from here. You guys probably just saw my ass the entire time. Check it out, we got the tranny up, so now we just gotta bolt everything in. Also, if you guys are doing this, make sure you tighten all of the shifter bracket bolts before you put it up, because you won't be able to get to the bolts once it's up. So I already tightened those. Alright guys, so we just hustled it up and we went and put the transmission into the G35. It's looking like a real car now, and I'm gonna try and go ahead and start it up right now. I'm pretty sure everything is good, just gotta go ahead and connect the battery. Let's cross our fingers.
Keep trying.
Let me try and unplug the crank sensor real quick. It's pissing me off, bro. Alright guys, so back to the drawing board once again with this fucking G35. I just want to rip all my freaking hair out, dude. Come on, man. Anyway guys, I think we're still having some troubles with the timing, only because when I unplug that crank sensor, we are getting some more popping. I made sure that I aligned the flywheel the correct way. I made sure 100% that I put the flywheel on correctly, that the dowel is matching the dowel that's on the engine, but maybe somewhere else, like maybe even the timing in the engine. We're seriously so close to getting this thing running. I don't know what's happening with this thing, but we're gonna figure it out. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. If you guys wanna support me in this build, head over to DoubleASupply.com, get you some G35 merch, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Nah. We gotta hear this thing start. If you guys are still watching this video and you guys want to support the G35 build, head over to DoubleASupply.com. We got some sweet G35 merch just for you. We got code HOMIEHOOKUP. You guys can use for 20% off of all the merch. I gotta give a huge shout out where credit is due to one of the technicians who've been helping me out a little bit while trying to get through all this freaking frustration over here. He lent me his tools because your boy realized that the timing is off, and pretty much gotta tear off that front timing cover. Got the 2 valve covers off already, and yeah, we're gonna have to redo timing. And there was the little thing that I missed when I was doing the timing, installing the new cams, that was pretty important, an important step that I should have let you guys know in that timing video. So yeah, when you put the crank pulley in top dead center, over here on cylinder 1, you're supposed to have these 2 cams right here facing each other. The little high point of the cams right here. So instead of facing like this at top dead center, they were like this. The reason being is that these sprockets right here, they're supposed to line up with a pin inside of the camshafts. The new JWT cams, they don't come with this pin, and I guess you're supposed to swap over the dowels from the old cams and then tap them into the new cams so that that dowel can go inside of this sprocket and pretty much cause it to never lose time. It'll always be in time because it'll be matched up with that dowel. Since ours was not matched up with that dowel, it kind of threw our cam off a little bit, and this was giving me bad compression over here on this bank. Over here, everything was in time, still missing the dowel, but everything was in time. because everything was tightened by this bolt right here. I was getting 180 pounds of compression over there and only 60 pounds over here. What I'm doing right now is I already got all the bolts out of the front cover. I got the 2 valve covers off. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this front cover. I still got to remove that crank pulley. Definitely a little bit of a hassle having to go back and redo all of these things. The transmission was a lot more of a hassle than having to take off this front cover and redo the timing and reseal it. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've been learning a lot, and definitely got to give credit where it's due. All the homies that have been coming over and helping out, like Zach, all the people on YouTube, on Instagram that I've been messaging, like Brian and Martin over at RSNTLP. He's actually the tuner. He's the same guy who tuned Adam LZ's 370Z. Pretty stoked to be bringing my car to him when it's ready. They've all been giving me pointers onto what could be causing the car to not start and things to check and that and whatnot. So now that I know that it's out of time, I'm gonna be redoing the timing. And redoing the timing has been kind of a pain in the ass. Trying to get my crank bolt off and the crank pulley off it's been like a 2-day process. Got to give a huge shout out to my buddy Kirby. He's actually a technician that I work with over at the Honda. He's been lending me the tools to actually get this crank bolt out, get this crank pulley out. As you guys can see, I got the nice little crank puller on there. So shout out to you, Kirby. I know you're taking a fat shit while you're watching this video. So yeah, man, shout out. What is up, guys? All right, guys, so right behind me we got the G35, we got the engine all put back together. I'm 100% sure that the timing is on point. I made sure that everything is lining up. I made sure that the dowels were transferred over from the old cams to the new cams, and that the sprockets are in the right place at top dead center. I made sure everything was torqued down, and I spent probably all night last night putting everything back together. It's like, I think I went to sleep at like 4 in the morning. So right now, it's about the next day. It's nighttime already because I pretty much slept the whole day away. I just went ahead and put the transmission fluid in and got the oil in there. Just gonna go ahead and check the oil level, make sure it's right. And my stomach is turning right now because I don't know if this car is gonna start. I'm freaking scared, but I'm super stoked. I don't know. Let's see. I was hyping it up like crazy in the last couple videos, or at least trying to when I was going to start it, and then like my heart was crushed when it wouldn't start. So I'm hoping everything is on point now. Let's give it a try.
Nigga, I fucking jumped out my fucking bed, son. What the fuck, man?
Look at this shit right now.
I got some motherfucking help now.
Oh, shit.
I got some help now.
Oh my god.
Y'all bitches in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy, so all was timing before we would even do this.
Thank you, man.
Oh my gosh. Alrighty guys, so I do have to rain on my own parade over here because at this time I was so excited to hear the car start, but once I hooked up the computer to it and read the codes, I did see that exhaust cam bank 1 was unfortunately out of time. The sensor was throwing a code, and once I did a data log and sent it over to Martin over at RSNTLP, he was able to let me know that the exhaust cam bank 1 was out of timing by -45 degrees. So yeah, this would be mistake number 5.
We interrupt this legendary G35 video moment for some 2020 Corolla hatchback content.
So what you doing?
Prepping the template.
For what?
That.
Oh. Think it's gonna be aerodynamic. Yeah, this thing is gonna look sick. We're not sure if it's gonna provide any good like MPG numbers or if it's really gonna do anything for the car in itself. But this is a car.
Look sick.
It's gonna look sick. This is a car that we wanted to introduce as more of a kind of like a professional type of build. Because you already know them VQ boys, you know, we reckless and everything, but we want to bring a nice little professional build to the channel, and we want to bring you guys some actual numbers and dynos of literally every single mod that you can do as far as like bolt-ons for this car. So yeah guys, let me know if you guys are trying to see some Corolla content, because we actually have some interesting ideas for this car, like as far as like installing an intake, dynoing, exhaust and dynoing, other mods and dynoing. But it's a brand new car. You know, he's not trying to fuck it up except for, you know, drilling into the spoiler right now. But yeah, anyway, let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing some shit like that.
Oh, those sprockets? Oh yeah.
So to give you guys an update about the whole timing show that we had on the G35, this engine I had to tear out because there were a couple dowel pins I had to take out of it to replace the ones that I had missing pretty much, and the other, and you know, in the working engine. Also, when I was removing the front cover to redo my timing the second time, I forgot that there were two little, you know, bolts here going from the lower oil pan, and I totally cracked my front cover. So this is the front cover off of the new engine. I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but there's a crack in it down there. So I went ahead and took the front cover off of this engine and put it on the running engine now. So, you know, I stripped a couple bolts on the front cover. It was a pain in the ass. I was able to drill through those strip bolts on the front cover. I put some Healy coils in there, and we got some nice new threads in there. So I was able to do everything pretty much right. The third time of me having to do the timing on this car. Last night we went ahead and started it up, and it sounds amazing, way better than that other startup. What I really got to do is bleed the clutch, and I got to tighten down the drive shaft. Got to make sure that's nice and tight. But let me go ahead and start it for you guys. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a cold start for you guys. We were able to start it last night and get it up to temperature. I was able to bleed the coolant, but right now it's nice and cold. So you guys are gonna listen to the cam cold start. I don't have a full exhaust on it, so it's pretty much just headers down to the Y pipe, and then it's Y pipe. Nothing else is attached to it, so it's pretty loud right now. Also keep in mind that the car is not tuned, and it's also got like a mixture of E85 as well as 93 in the tank right now. I'm not too sure if my gas reading is reading correctly, but if it is, it might have more 93 than it does E85. I'm pretty sure I siphoned out most of the 93, but I'm not too sure if I was able to get it all out, because the gauge is still like over half a tank, and I only put like 3 gallons of E85 in it. So I don't know if the reader's off, but let's just go ahead and start it, man. Let's do it. Wait, hold on. Before I do, I just want to let you guys know that I work really hard on this, and a lot of you guys that were there watching me, you know, pretty much up and fix it and up and fix it. Everyone who's been giving me pointers as far as like the tuner out there in Tampa, Martin at RS Enthalpy, he's awesome. He's been giving me so many pointers. He was able to tell me and show me exactly what, you know, what I was doing wrong, what was out of time, and yeah, he was always there to give me some pointers, as well as all my buddies out there. You know, I appreciate everybody and your support. I know there's a lot of people who are also like doing their own timing and tearing down their engine alongside me, and I just want to say thank you guys for like looking at me as a role model, but I don't know what the f I'm doing. I am not a mechanic. I'm not a technician. I'm just kind of doing this as I'm just kind of learning this as I do it. So learn from my mistakes. Make sure you swap over the dowel pins on the timing. Make sure you line everything up correctly. Make sure you check your firing order before you put everything back together. And yeah, don't give up. Let's start this bitch. check engine light, so we're looking good. Last time we were getting an exhaust cam out of timing code from the cam sensor, but now that I redid timing, everything is awesome. Oh. Listen to that idle, dude. Oh my god. This shit sounds so good. I'm so stoked. So last night after it got to temperature, it was actually stalling. Oh, you can hear it. I don't know if it's because of the tune. It definitely needs a better tune because we switched different injectors. We got E85 in there now. So I don't know if this is just, you know, the whole tune. But it's not bad. Alright guys, so I'm gonna let it warm up right now so that once it gets to temperature I can go ahead and drain the oil, because after you rebuild or reseal any type of engine, you want to put oil in it, let it run for about 20 minutes and then drain the oil so it gets all the extra sealer and everything out of the engine. Then put some new fresh oil in there. Listen to the idle. Oh! Chillin', dog.
Sound like a beast over here.
Hell yeah, dude. Listen to that fucking idle, bro. No check engine light. Everything is on time. But this shit reps.
Fucking sounds like a beast, boy.
Yo guys, alright, so we got the G on the floor right now. Jesse is gone. We went ahead and bled the clutch. Had some issues. It's always so super annoying, like bleeding the clutch in this car, but we did it. I just had to kind of extend the, just had to adjust the clutch pedal a little bit, kind of extend the master cylinder as far back as it can possibly go, and as far forward as it could possibly go, so that it can start bleeding the clutch system right. Super excited right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and try and back out the G. It's going in gear. Everything's working as far as the clutch. Let's do it. First ever drive. Let's do it, guys. Got to adjust my clutch a little bit. All right, guys, take two. It drives, oh my god. Gotta adjust the pedal a little bit.
Rolling.
Holy shit. Done! Right out the driveway. What the Look, it's like, it's right there. It's not too bad.
Not bad at all.
Bro, we driving this shit right now.
Yeah, boy. It's going down.
Come on, baby.
That clutch tight, boy.
Oh, it is, bro.
That's goddamn right in the grip up.
Woo! Come on, baby. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, I'm driving my G35, dude. It's been 6 months.
6 months back in action.
Oh, it's the tune is so bad. Oh my god.
So,
Oh, fuck. That's so tough. I'm trying my hardest. That's so nasty. Come on. Why? I'm gonna log it. Send it to the tuner.
gotta see. You said it's missing though? Random misfire?
Is that what that is? That's what it feels like.
Let it go. Clutch is just tight. That
Yeah,
clutch is
and the
just
f***ing bushings are shot. Holy f***. It's so notchy, dude. Holy f***. Woo!
might be.
I'll go for a data log so I can send it to my tuner and see if he can do any adjustments for me to get it running a little bit better without actually having to go to the dyno. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a little test ride and get some logs going. Alright guys, so I did not do a proper outro for this video, but I want to give a huge thank you for all of you guys for first of all watching this video all the way to the end, because I know it is a long one, and second of all for always being there and commenting and liking and just being there for your help and support and your love. You guys are the best. Like I said before, if you guys want to support the G35 build, head over to DoubleASupply.com. You guys can check out the G35 merch we got, t-shirts, hoodies, jet tags, stickers, all that good stuff. If you guys are new to the G35 build, I have so much content that's going to come out of this new build, so make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.